Welcome back to Where You Live with Gene and Tony. There, that music, that's what I'm talking about. I like that. Thank you.
Creedence, who doesn't like them?
Thought you'd like it.
Yeah.
Say, folks, if you're just joining us, welcome. This is Where You Live with Gene and Tony. We're broadcasting from the Concierge Landscape Studios. We're brought to you by Extreme Exteriors. And we've been talking the last couple of segments about a familiar song in homeowner associations. People can't pay and keep up with their responsibility with assessments with their association. So they go delinquent. They end up in foreclosure. And now we're seeing more and more where the existing homeowners are now being asked to pay.
I want to mention that we have a hotline that you can call if you have a question or a comment about one of our stories or an idea for a topic. Leave us a message at 952-224-2668, 952-224-2668.
Yes, you can leave your comment. We'll play it the next week on the show. Or if you have a question, we'll give our answer on the show then next week.
Now, it's interesting to me, this story, because we heard from Linda Lindemann, who is getting stuck now with a bill that she didn't expect to pay because her neighbors failed to pay their share of the assessments. How many times have we talked to those neighbors who are delinquent, people who are delinquent, who are outraged that we're sending them late notices, that we're charging late fees, and that ultimately they get sent to collections or their home is foreclosed? They are outraged that the Homeowners Association is going to that length to collect the assessments. How many times have you explained to them, if you don't pay your bills, your neighbors have to pay your bills? Now we're hearing the other side of that story.
Exactly.
Your neighbors are not happy that you're delinquent.
And so let's talk about that, because we said we would when we came back. What is it that an association should be doing?
Well, I was thinking more about, they're in the situation where they have to charge a special assessment. All right. What could they have done differently to explain to homeowners and to maybe make this a smoother, more understandable situation?
It sounds like those basic components were there with what Linda had mentioned when she was chatting with us. She said that the association attempted to contact all the homeowners to say, we need to talk about the necessity for a special assessment, and there were some things mentioned. She said in her particular case, people were so upset in her association, they didn't...
no, they called a special meeting, right? That she could not attend.
She could not attend, but it was not held, she said, because a lot of people were so upset that it didn't seem like
I got the impression that they had the meeting and there was so much ruckus and people were so upset that they couldn't accomplish anything.
That
so
they may
had
had to adjourn the meeting. Yeah. And if so, it sounds like the association was the board was trying to attempt to do that. They would need to attempt to do that again. Communication, transparency. They would need to send something out in the mail. It sounds like that they attempted to do that. Now they wanted a chance for the homeowners to meet. Folks, when the association meets, you may not be able to make all of those meetings, but when the association reaches out like that, very important to go to those meetings.
It absolutely is.
Your financial destiny is dependent upon what happens.
Newsletters are helpful, and this is kind of ongoing education about the situation. Put articles in your newsletter about what it means to live in a homeowners association. Your annual meeting. Members, homeowners, you need to go to the annual meeting. You would also get an education there about what it is you're responsible for and what's going on. You would have found out that there were delinquencies were building up in your homeowners association. And then the special meeting, which they actually called. Members can run for the board if they are concerned about how things are being operated.
You're right. If a homeowner feels that they aren't being represented well, if they feel that the people that are on the board aren't representing their best interests, then they should run.
Yeah.
It's interesting how many times that happens, and you'll find someone who changes their mind with how things are run after they've been on the board for a couple of months.
Because then they understand the situation.
Yeah.
Before that, they're on the outside looking in. They don't understand. I also think this homeowners association really went to great lengths to try and make this work for everyone. They offered installment plans. When members couldn't even meet that installment plan. They were willing to negotiate different terms. They're really trying to make it work.
And I give kudos to Linda, who said that she finally was talking to them about working out the payment plan. When she first mentioned, I didn't respond at first. That's always never a good idea. Right. Communication needs to be a two-way street, and as the homeowner, you need to communicate with the association as much as they need to reach out as well.
Yeah, I would just recommend that you have your governing documents, that you understand the legalities to the best of your ability before you pick up the phone and call the Star Tribune. It would be nice if that would happen.
Yeah. Well, one other thing that you can do, folks, just to stay on the top of your game and understanding what it is that is your duty, responsibility of living in a homeowner association, become a member of our free subscription. We do a bi-monthly newsletter.
Sure.
And all you have to do is give us a call during the week at New Concepts, 952-922-2500. Ask for Courtney. She'll make sure that you start receiving your free subscription. The topics that we've covered, like right now, are covered in further detail in the newsletter. In the newsletter, we have free seminars that you can take online to understand what an association can and should do, and finances, the roles of people on the board, insurance for the property, what you need to know, all kinds of things. Some great stuff. Again, we want to be a free, great resource to you. Give us a call and get that subscription.
You can also call and leave a question on our hotline for the radio program.
Yes.
And that's 952-224-2668. If you've got the burning question in the middle of the night, you can pick up the phone, call 952-224-2668, and leave us a message. We'll address it at our next program.
I tell you what, let's begin with our next story here. And this was an interesting one. This is a homeowners association without any homeowners. And so, of course, it caught my attention.
Sure.
And what we're talking about is not a homeowners association that has nobody living there, but someone who feels that they have no representation. And this, folks, comes from the St. Louis Post-Suburban Journal on October 10th. And the writer of the article said that they began trying to contact the president of the Villas at Ridgepoint Homeowners Association in Lake St. Louis. And then he mentioned to the president right away, I talked to one of the homeowners living there, and automatically he could see the blood pressure soaring on the board president's face. He said, she's out of her mind. I'm not going to deal with her. Yet the homeowner seemed to be someone who was not out of her mind. She seemed to be quite sane, but had some legitimate concerns. Here was the issue. A basic problem, again, a number of homeowner associations have had. The developer of the association probably was going to have about 180 plus homes built when things were complete. All completed, turned over to the homeowners. However, only 62 were occupied with homeowners at this time, right around 35% occupancy. The rest of the association had not been sold yet. Things turned with the economy, with the real estate bubble had popped. And so, as is the case with all homeowner associations, the developer continues to stay in control of the association until they get to a certain percentage of ownership when they can turn everything over to the homeowners. In this particular case, they never reach that percentage.
And usually that percentage is stated in the governing documents. Isn't that right?
Yes, that's right.
It's up to the developer and how they set up the governing documents. In this case, they had to sell 85% of the homes before they could turn the control of the association over to those homeowners.
Yes, and it had to get to that 85% mark. However, they never got there. And, of course, as is the case, because of that, the developer started to be responsible for things that I don't think long term he had no desire to be a part of.
No.
He was wanting to just sell the property, put it in the homeowner's hands, and let them take it from there. That didn't happen, and when that does happen, that the homeowners can't take control, there's some issues. There's problems. We want to talk about that, but we've got to take another break right now. Folks, you're listening to Where You Live with Gene and Tony on AM 1280, The Patriot. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more on the Homeowner Association without any homeowners.